I think it's very common to start off a new habit with all of the best intentions, be it to do with nutrition, exercise, or anything else, and to be super enthusiastic about it and think, okay, great, I'm going to make this really great change in my life. And then you might be able to keep it up for, say, a few days or a few weeks even, and then slowly but surely the old habits start to creep in again and you end up falling off the wagon. I would say that more people than you think tend to fail when it comes to changing their habits, and this can be really nicely demonstrated in the stages of change theory, or the trans-theoretical model of change, which was developed by Prochaska and Di Clemente in the 1970s. And this was initially developed for addictive behaviour, such as by stopping smoking, but it can be applied elsewhere as well, such as diet. It is a theory that is widely used among health professionals, and I came across it in my undergraduate degree. I think it's a really useful theory. I think more people should know about it, and it really shows that change isn't linear. It doesn't have a set time frame. It can take people days to make a new habit, but likewise it can take them years as well, with lots and lots of setbacks. And I think we should normalise all of the setbacks that it might take. So I just wanted to go through this model in a bit more detail so you can see there's a few different stages. So if we go through each one by one, so I will be looking at my notes through this so I don't forget anything, so bear with me there. Firstly, we've got the pre-contemplation stage, which is not even thinking about changing yet. So you might still be in denial, you might not be interested in any help at all. And if you're in this stage, the cons of making a change will outweigh the pros. And anyone who is in this stage will probably very much defend any bad habits that they might have and be completely unwilling to change. Then next will come the contemplation stage. So in this stage you might be weighing up the pros and cons at this point and considering change. You might still not be quite convinced that changes are necessary, but you're considering it. And a lot of people will be stuck in this stage for months or years, and they might be really indecisive about exactly what change to make, what goals to put in place, which can lead to a lot of procrastination. And then next we've got the preparation stage. So basically you finally decided to commit to a change, and it's all about putting in place everything you need to make that change happen. At the moment, the thought of change can be quite vague, so lots of work is needed to try and make the change as easy and ink it down as much as possible. This is the stage where you'll be gathering lots of information and thinking about what path will be the best one to take. I think it's worth noting that a lot of people might skip this stage, and this can lead to people jumping into changes without having done adequate research beforehand, and therefore make them most likely to fail. And then next will come the action stage. Now this is when you're finally making the changes happen, and this can be quite a short stage for some people. It can even last just a few hours for some people. A lot of people are at a very high risk of relapse during this stage, so relapsing into their old habits again. And really in this stage, you're basically just depending on your willpower to get through it. There hasn't been enough time to develop habits around your changes yet, so a lot of it is willpower. And then we've got the maintenance stage. This is when people are successfully avoiding any temptations to go back to their old habits, and they will have developed coping strategies around situations that might make it difficult to maintain their change. It's not quite second nature yet, so there's still a chance of relapse into the stage, but it's significantly easier than the action stage. And then we've got termination or relapse. So relapse can mean going back to the contemplation stage, pre-contemplation, any of the previous stages, or you go into termination. So termination is that it's often not included in the stages of change model because it can be quite difficult to achieve. It's basically supposed to be when there's absolutely no temptation at all for relapse. So obviously that is quite difficult to achieve, and it isn't often seen for addictive behaviours. This website that I've put on the screen now is a really great resource. It goes through techniques that can be helpful at each stage, so I do strongly recommend checking that out. I think it should be pointed out as well that this model of change might not be applicable for changing multiple behaviours at once, but I think it's still pretty useful in terms of looking at change, and just helps people relax about it a little bit, in that even if they do fail, if they even go back to their old habits, it's not the end of the world. It can happen multiple times. So this whole process of the cycle, going through all of these stages, you can go through these stages multiple times before you really maintain the changes in the long run. It's perfectly normal to relapse and fall off the wagon, and it's just about analysing, okay, what went wrong there? What did I find difficult here? Is there anything I can put in place to make these changes easier? Really have a think about in what situations it might be tempting to go back to your old habits. So I think generally this model is quite a good thing to just be aware of, and just takes pressure off a little bit and gives you the motivation to just keep trying even if things are difficult. I hope this video was helpful. See you again soon.